Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of Rocket Science Today. We are going to talk about AI testing with Marisa. So let's start this adventure together. Hi Marisa, please introduce yourself.
Hi, thanks for inviting me. Yeah, I'm Marisa. I'm a corporate researcher at Tschopp AG, which is a technology and cybersecurity company based in Zurich, in Switzerland. I'm an organizational psychologist conducting research about AI, about artificial intelligence from a humanities perspective, and I focus on psychological and ethical questions. I'm looking at different psychological theories and compare them to AI, for example, human consciousness, and if machines can become or are conscious. My main questions are, can humans trust AI? Why do people fear AI? What is our very own responsibility in this context, whether as a business owner or a politician or as a parent? I basically see myself between research and practice, trying to bridge this gap of experts and non-experts who are both affected by the impact of AI and thus trying to contribute to this technological revolution and make sure that it serves humanity.
Today we are going to talk about the AI testing. Let's start with the definition of AI. What do you think AI means?
Well, artificial intelligence has been around since the 1950s now, and it has evolved drastically. However, there's still no clear definitions or demarcation criteria on what AI really is and how it relates to machine learning, deep learning, neural networks, if Siri is AI or my robot vacuumer is real AI. My favorite answer to this question is that AI is all about building machines that fulfill tasks that humans can do. So they mimic human behavior. If we go a little deeper, some of the main pillars of AI research are machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, natural language processing, Internet of Things, robotics, but there's some more. For the general public, I believe it is also important to understand the main domains where AI is implemented, which are transportation, home service and robotics, healthcare, education, low resource communities, public safety and security, employment in the workplace, and entertainment. The fun thing is actually, all in all, answering this question actually reveals more about yourself, your background, and your mindset, rather than about AI per se.
What is your approach in testing AI?
Well, our work focuses on testing digital assistants or conversational AI like Amazon's Alexa, Siri by Apple, or Google Assistant. We call it the AIQ. It's the artificial intelligence quotient. So we test these voice-operated systems almost like we test intelligence of humans. So we created intelligence tests where we evaluate the AI's skills through various categories like knowledge or understanding. Just like human intelligence, we use similar domains like explicit knowledge, numerical reasoning, or creative thinking based on the major intelligence theories. So we test how smart these so-called weak AI systems really are. We are taking a purely end-to-end approach, or behavioral, so to speak. We only test what is observable, and we do not test the inside processes like natural language understanding and so on. This is very important because as one person cannot measure it all, so you must define your approach and think about the reasons why you choose this methodology. We wanted a consumer-oriented approach, so this occurs as the best methodology to choose.
Why does AI testing excite you?
For various reasons. One is evaluation as basis of all progress. So testing is a critical factor to measure, compare, and improve. But as a psychologist with no technical background, I was most excited about getting to know how smart Siri really is, or what can Alexa actually do. Basically, I really got to know these assistants very well, and I could actually also demystify what are they actually capable of. And I even got an idea about their, personality or their character that their developers wanted to breathe into them. For example, Google Assistant uses a lot of emojis, and you can tell that they really want these assistants to come across as very humane. Or Alexa is more realistic and even states that it is like a service to the public who is still very uncertain about the developments or fear AI or feel really awkward about talking to computers. It's really pretty funny to explore the character of these assistants and then also conclude about their creators.
I don't need to pass that. I'm not pretending to be human.
Do you think that the machines are better in making decisions than people?
In many cases, of course. Computers can play games better, can read X-rays faster, can translate faster, and can detect attackers faster. However, they are machines pretending to be humans, but they're not. They have no desires. They do what we tell them to do. There have been some reported cases where a machine would have made a fatal decision if a human would not have been in the loop to stop this. For example, a machine has detected a missile attack, which was actually a bird, and this could have gone very, very wrong and lead to an actual war. Machines have great advantages over humans like speed or data processing, but context, intuition, and consciousness are human sets which are important to make good decisions. But often we don't really know what good decisions are, right? How do you measure a good decision?
How can we check whether our statements or decisions made by us are better than the ones that the machines do?
That is the key problem. We can predefine outcome variables, what success means and how to measure it, but there may be things happening that we have not encountered that are so-called intervening variables. If the decision was wrong or bad, we have to analyze the steps taken and what has intervened with the expected outcome with regards to the hypothesis. Now I was talking about how psychological research works. But there are parallels, of course, and this is a very hot topic in AI research called explainable AI. Often the steps that the machines took to arrive at a certain decision are not really transparent for various reasons. The data input was dirty or biased. Yeah, and sometimes you never find out. When it comes to wrong answer by Siri, well, that's funny. If an algorithm labels a dog as a cat, also funny. But I mean, if black people labeled as gorillas, if it labels a bird as a missile and decides to attack a country, not so funny, right? So I think it's not about either or who makes the better decision. It will or should always be about co-deciding, about transparency. The keeping the locus of control with us to track back who's responsible for a certain decision. The key question is, how can I use AI to make a better decision? We have to change this mindset, men versus machine, which is prevailing. Technology is simply a mean to an end and not the end itself. When we hear all these doomsday fantasies and every time a machine wins against a human at whatsoever, we shift back to the man versus machine mindset, which is legitimate, but it's counterproductive.
What is your favorite example of your AI testing methodology?
That's actually hard to tell, as there are many, many good ones. One of my favorites is when we test critical thinking skills. Critical thinking is the skill to evaluate a question, ask counter questions when the question is ambiguous. We operationalize this category by using homonyms. What is a trunk? Trunk has different meanings. For example, it can be a part of a tree, it can be a part of a car, but also part of a body. We asked Siri, we asked Alexa, we asked Google Now this question, and we received 3 different answers. And neither of them was able to give all answers or check back and make sure, okay, what do you mean with this question?
Trunk, the main woody stem of a tree, is distinct from its branches and roots.
Trunk is usually defined as the main stem of a tree, usually covered with bark. The bole is usually the part that is commercially useful for lumber or, alternatively, luggage consisting of a large strong case used when traveling or for storage.
What is the next big thing in AI testing?
We are taking a purely behavioral approach. So this end-to-end user approach where we are testing from a user perspective without looking into the black box of what is happening inside. This is only one part of testing and it only gives a certain perspective. The next big thing would be taking a very integrative approach where we can test all these dimensions from natural language understanding and processing through decision making to the very end result. Furthermore, it would integrate many more variables such as reaction to an input versus proactive intelligence like traffic warnings. The communication structure, multi-turn versus single-turn communication. Also taking into account other evaluation methods from quantitative and also qualitative data. Also new topics like consumer perception and emotional quotient measures, the so-called EQ, could be integrated.
What is your favorite way to stay up to date on AI?
I go to 3 or 4 conferences per year, which have different orientations, like one are more tech, one are more academia, one are more business oriented, especially conferences with a multidisciplinary approach, like the Applied Machine Learning Days in Lausanne, Switzerland. They are extremely valuable for me. I kind of also cross-read academic articles, but also blog posts from authors from universities or magazines like the MIT Review or TechCrunch, for example. My favorite social media channel where I keep up to date is Twitter, where I follow certain AI gurus and news and discussions and get various opinions on the hottest and also controversial topics.
What is the biggest misconception about doing AI testing?
That we test to destroy or damage or ridicule a certain system. We test to improve.
Thank you, Marisa, and thank you all for being with us. See you in the next episode.
Thank you very much for having me.